Welcome to the Town of Ayer Community Preservation Committee meeting. It is now 7 o'clock, and I'm going to call the meeting to order now that Jess is logging in. I'm going to read this. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Baker issued an emergency order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as the measures are taken to ensure the public access to the body's deliberations through adequate and alternative means. This meeting will be broadcast live on Channel 8 and on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by following the call-in information on the bottom of the live broadcast screen. For Zoom meeting information related to remote participation, please contact Cindy Knox, the IT Director, at cknox@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8252 prior to the meeting. So again, the meeting has been opened and I hope everybody's doing well. Okay, that sounds, I see thumbs up, so that's a good sign. And Jess, how's Maddie?
Oh, she's fine.
Okay, just double checking. Everybody have a good holiday?
Yeah, how about you?
Yeah,
It was
Yeah.
quiet.
it was a quiet one, different one. And, but at least, you know, it's gonna say we're here for another day.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Like I say, no, Julie may call in, so we may see a phone number. She's on the road. She doesn't have access to a computer. And I don't really see anybody else, but again, if the public is listening, if you've got any questions, just go ahead and raise your hand. If you do have questions after watching this on a Zoom meeting, I'd like for you to email us at cpc@ayer.ma.us and ask any question that you have. I'm going to just take a roll call, seeing that I know, just again, I know I can see people, but just in case somebody's on just for their phone, go ahead and I'll start off with Colleen. You're in my upper left-hand corner.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Thank you, Maddie.
She's a
Right.
good appearance on TV.
All right. Who else is here?
Barry's here.
Beth's here.
Jess is here.
And I see Jason.
Yep, Jason's here.
Yeah, you got it. All right. Okay. On the agenda, we've got approval of the minutes from last meeting, which happened to
11-4.
11/4.
Yeah.
I didn't have any corrections. I don't know if anybody else reviewed and possibly had any corrections.
I reviewed them. I didn't see anything in there to be reviewed, to be corrected as well.
I read them. I wasn't in attendance, but it was good to see the recap. Nice job, Jess, and I'm fine with them.
Yeah, and they look good to me as well.
Okay. All right. So with that, can I hear a motion? And when you make a motion, state your name to accept the minutes, please.
Okay, this is Barry Schwarzel. I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes from November 4th, 2020.
And this is Colleen Creaser. I'll second it.
All right, all in favor? Jess,
Aye.
Barry,
Aye.
Colleen,
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
Aye, and Beth, you gotta,
Yes.
yeah, because you weren't there. And
I can vote. I don't know. I mean, do you want me to recuse myself?
you can vote. Go ahead. Yeah, you said yes. Pierce says yes, and it's been accepted. So they're all yours now, Jess. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna do fun things with them.
See, Maddie even knows that.
Maddie.
too. All right, some of the correspondence that we have had, happens to be more of other parts that are on the agenda with regard to the status of the grant agreement. I do apologize. I went ahead and I just sent you the revised, reviewed editions from town council. I received them yesterday from Robert, and I was going to forward them on to you, and forgive me, I did not until about an hour ago. They've been reviewed and whereas edited throughout the whole grant agreement. It went from a 2-page to 10 pages. It has now, oh, Julie's here. All right. We didn't think you're going to be able to be here in person.
I thought it was safer to get here just in time rather than drive and Zoom. So here we go.
It
Thank
is
you.
safer. It is safer.
Wise choice.
It's like,
One went from 2 pages to 10 pages?
pretty much, just because it's all been legalese.
Which one?
The Sandy Pond School one.
Okay,
All right. Like I say, it ended up made into legalese. Maybe I shouldn't really say 10 pages. Well, they have all the different categories for the different exhibits where they are part of the application process anyways. So bear with me. Again, we tried to keep the grant agreement so it didn't look as with the legalese of where it's like 6 pages now. Where it had all the, like I say, the legal terms of therefore, whereas, now therefore. But they do have a nice section with regards to the conditions. And that the conditions part answers some of the questions that you had, Beth, that when you guys have a chance to review it, like I said, I just sent it, so I do apologize. They go ahead and describe a little bit more of, well, first thing is the non-liability sections for any type of work that is being performed. The town is not liable. Then there is the deed restriction, so that it is it kept the historical deed restriction request. And then I still had to go back and ask questions with regards to the insurance. Should this be, when this gets open to the public? And that was replied back today from Irv. So that's some of the, like I say, the correspondence sort of moves into the current business. So again, we've had the town council look at the 2 grant agreements. I'm going to focus still on Sandy Pond School. And excuse me just a second, hold on. I didn't want people to hear that cough. It's just been reworded, all right? There's a lot of changes that I wanted to go ahead and review. So Beth and Jess, I mean, you guys have seen many of these grant agreements. I believe Barry and Jason, you've seen the ones that we've done before. If you have a chance, definitely review it. See if there's something that stands out. It's more detailed. And like I say, it just needs a little more understanding in my part of, what exactly has been stated. But again, going back to the insurance question, if when it opens up to the public, Sandy Pond School Association has their own insurance policy that would be able to handle any type of, if there's any type of liability coverage. They have a directors and officer liability policy as well as a general liability policy to go ahead and take care of anything else that's there. So again, the questions that were brought up with regards to the historical requirement as well as the insurance, they've got those covered. So Beth, when you have a chance, like I say, look at it and see if there's something that's still outstanding that you want to see covered.
Sure. I just have one question. I took a quick look, and they do have a placeholder for an exhibit like that is the actual historic preservation restriction. Will we not advance the grant agreement until we have that at least in a draft form and attached to this? Or is that something that council suggests? Because I see that they said that we would withhold 25% of the funding until the grant, or I'm sorry, the agreement, the historic preservation agreement or deed restriction would be recorded. And so I didn't know if that exhibit it's not there yet, but if that exhibit is something that would be like a draft that would be provided at the time that the grant agreement is signed, or like what would the status of that be at the time that this gets signed? Because that's just something to clarify and make sure that everybody understands the level of review that'll be involved for that piece of the document before the grant agreement is consummated.
Okay, to give you guys a heads up, yes, they made a recommendation that we hold back 25%. That's, say, a suggestion until this all gets signed, sealed, and delivered. With regards to the historical restriction, Barry, is that something that the Historical Commission has copies of so that it's like a boilerplate that we could use?
I have the copies from Pleasant Street School and the Fletcher Building that I could pull off the content from that. But we definitely want something in there before we hand over all the money, because it's so hard getting that historical preservation clause in there after the fact. I mean, case in point was the Pleasant Street School, which was almost 10 years after the building was already open before we finally got it signed. So we definitely want, whether it be draft form or something, but we want it in there before any monies are handed over to complete the deal.
All right, so all right, what takes it out of a draft form? This doesn't have to go to a town meeting, does it? It just has to be agreed upon by the parties.
That's correct, yes. Yeah.
So I think, we could probably review a draft, but then put it in as a final rendition once the Historic Commission's given the, okay, this is what it needs to state, and put it in with this grant agreement and have it all locked down and let Irv and team, review it. If they've got questions, they can come back to us.
And
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, yes.
Okay.
For conservation, when we do conservation restrictions, they have to get approved by the state, and then also once we sign it, it has to also get signed by the Board of Selectmen, the Select Board. Does that work the same for preservation restrictions? Do you have to get the Select Board to sign off on it, or any state agency as well?
Barry?
Oops, I'm sorry. I was just looking at the two preservation restrictions, and it wasn't the Fletcher Building I have, but I have the fire station one and the school.
And the Pleasant Street School.
I apologize. I just want to make sure what I had. What was the question, Jess?
Does a preservation restriction have to get signed by the state? And then
let me think. No,
Okay.
It doesn't have to. It's just an agreement between the town and who the owner is.
And then
then we maintain that, make sure that they hold their feet to the fire, that they take care of their end of it.
And then do you also have to have it signed off at the end by the Select Board?
I believe so.
So that would take it out of the draft form, Janice.
Right, I agree with you. Yeah, these are pretty thick. But I believe, yeah, the select board does go through this. I'll double check on that, but I seem to think that they did.
Yeah.
I don't have it. I don't have it in this copy here, but
The new revised editions of the grant agreement has all three members of the select board signing it, not just
Yeah.
the chair.
actually, as I look at it now, the select board does sign off on it. I don't know if you can see that. No, you can't see that. But the select board does sign off on it.
Yeah, that probably makes sense.
Yeah, they signed off on the historic preservation restriction.
Yeah, I
I-
think that the previous ones that we have for the Ayer projects are probably pretty good, but if you are looking for any other examples, the coalition website might have some examples of other historic preservation restrictions. And I would want, like if Barry, you guys can discuss it within a historical commission meeting just to get the blessing of everyone before it gets finalized, because you guys are, really the experts on the topic, I think. So that would be good.
Agreed. All right, so if you could go ahead and, like I say, start developing a draft and send it out to the team so we can take a look at it, make sure Historic Commission, reviews it.
Yep.
And then we can have that be part of, and I think that's Exhibit D as in Delta, is the deed restriction. We can put it as part of the grant agreement,
Yes, I will.
all right?
And yes, I will take care of that.
Okay. And I'll look and see if there's anything also too on the coalition.
Janet, where does it say in the grant agreement that we're holding back 25% of the funds?
It's in a comment section from the town council over on the, like I say, the little comment
Okay.
sidebar. It's like ordinarily the HPR is agreed and signed prior to the disbursement of funds, but this could take some time. Does town want to hold back some funds, example, about 25%, before that restriction is completed?
Condition 8 has the details of it, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it on my phone.
Yeah. It's a payment until restriction granted to the town has been recorded. The town shall disperse not to exceed 75% of the amount for work, performing the work. Then we hold back 46,000 once it's all signed, sealed, and delivered.
So this won't hold the school association up from putting out for bids and stuff.
Shouldn't.
Right.
Yeah, it shouldn't. And I mean, hopefully, Barry, how long do you think that it might take, to go ahead and get something? I know we got the holiday coming up for Christmas, or, Hanukkah. I mean, it's the holiday season at the end of the year. I think we definitely should have something by February.
Yes. I'll send a note to George tomorrow morning, because I'll send a note to George in the morning and discussing with him what we want to do, and we'll get the ball rolling on it, so that we won't be rushing come January 31st or something like that.
Okay, makes sense. And I think that should be fine. And again, it's a suggestion, it's the 25%, but if there are plans to go ahead and do some major work during the winter months, I can check with Irv, and it can be like 10%. That was just the suggestion of being 25%.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right. I'll take it all up with Irv. All right. Anything else? Okay. So that one, that's the one grant agreement. Then the other is with regards to the Affordable Housing Trust. And again, they went ahead and reviewed it, but it also needs the bylaw completed as well as the housing trust trustees selected. So the bylaw will not be approved until Springtown meeting. And we started looking at names and reviewing individuals, getting background, sort of like a background check on some individuals. And hopefully we'll be able to have a list presented by February to the select board. And the reason behind it is like we're coming back together again at the end of December and do, like, say, other interviews in January. So we're looking to get a list of approximately 10. Would be nice if it's 12 individuals, even though we only need 7. This way here, there's a good selection list that will the Affordable Housing Committee can go ahead and present to the select board. So with regard to the grant agreement on the Housing Trust, again, review it knowing that the bylaws do need to be completed as well as the Board of Trustees need to be already assigned. The bylaws are going to be presented to town meeting in May. And once that's all set, it's almost like everything will then just get put in together for the, the funding and everything else. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that's the status of the grant agreement. I think it was good. I got to see Robert at a retirement party. So I just smiled at him and he goes, I know you got questions that I need to answer. So he was able to answer them yesterday. So that was very helpful. All right. Anything else that people have for a current business? Old business that we've been working on? All right. I know every once in a while, I'm going to move on to the new business and bring back up the community preservation plan. This is something that we tried to do a couple years ago, but because of the master plan being updated, the open space and rec plan, the housing plans, all those getting updated, we pushed it to the back burner saying, let's have everybody else get all their plans set. So now we have directions from the other housing production plans and such that will be able to redevelop a community preservation plan. I think I'm going to go ahead and reach out again to CCG and to J.M. Goldson, to go ahead and see what their thoughts are. The plan is almost 6 years old that we need to go ahead and do, but I think we've got a good direction of where the town wants to keep implementing updates and such. So I think this is a good time to go ahead and do it. Any other, discussion about
What does CCG stand for again?
community? Hold on,
COG,
it's COG. Yeah, community
Opportunities Group.
opportunity. Yeah. Because they're the ones who did the prior. I think the prior one. They're the ones who helped with the master plan, and I believe they helped with the housing production plan. And it's all because they had items on the, because of the master plan. So they have all that documented, and on top of it all, we really won't have new numbers for the 2020 census until almost 2022, so.
Mm.
But like I say, it'd be nice. So that's one thing that I'll go ahead and do.
I think that that the scope for our plan development could be a lighter scope than what some towns do, because we do have these recently developed planning documents that we can heavily review and incorporate the goals of those into the CPC plan. And then I think the real effort would be involved in the community outreach piece, going to different committees and making sure that what's been compiled is agreeable, and get feedback and comments, and then kind of put it all together and finalize it. So I don't think it's a really heavy lift. And one thing to think about is if we would go ahead and advance it while we're still meeting virtually, it actually saves a lot of money to do that, because you're not paying for all the travel miles and in-person meetings. So just something to think about.
That is true. Yeah. Because I know that I've gone to a lot of seminars that, the speakers have come right from their house. So, all right, the two older plans are out on our website. If anybody wants to take a peek on how they've progressed over the years. And again, reiterating what Beth said, it should be lighter, because we do have some great documentations for the master plan, the open space and rec plan, and the housing production plan. So with that, my guy's on the floor. She said, skip it. I'm not going to go ahead and walk in front of the camera.
I have meetings.
So I think this would be good to go ahead and start that up. And again, I'll reach out to the two parties, and then it would be nice to get feedback from the community as well as the other committees that are involved with receiving funds. And I think that would be good. So we'll be on the agenda of other committees meetings, either probably in January, February. It's gonna be a busy February. Go ahead.
What are you reaching out to CRG or Jen Goldstein specifically?
Just like we did before, of saying, okay, we're going to be going ahead and review it. We've got these new additional, documents that are available. What would be the fees that they would be charging? Their suggestions, their recommendations. Again, I'll pull back the 2 years ago, the emails that they sent, just to be sure that, there's going to be some things that have changed. So I just want to make sure we follow up and see again what the fee structure is going to be like.
Got it.
I think that it's fine to ask them, what their recommendation would be and an estimate for cost, but we want to make sure that, at the point that we're really sort of soliciting full proposals, that we sort of look at both of their suggestions and then sort of codify a scope of work that we're putting out that they can respond to, maybe just to help keep it, more consistent, and that they're both, sort of bidding on the same level of effort.
Okay. That's why I said I'm going to go ahead and review the emails and see when we came up with a scope of work. So quite possibly in January, maybe that's what I'll do, is I'll have the scope of work that we can discuss and see if there's anything else that we want to add. And then it's more of just giving them a heads up. Next year, we're going to be finally getting around to doing this.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks.
Okay. All right. That help, Jess?
Yep.
Okay. All right. The other thing too is one of the town residents, Sarah Withy, who's on the Affordable Housing Committee. She went to the select board meeting yesterday, and the town assessor started talking about the new surcharge rate being taken effect. I have not had a chance to watch the select board meeting, but we were, the CPC's, the CPA surcharge was mentioned on how it's been, like I say, on how it's kicked in and such. She didn't say anything about a dollar amount. I know that every once in a while I tap the town assessor to see if he's got something, but they really don't have anything per se because of with the again, the state matching funds. However, I don't know if people have received the newsletter from the coalition. I had a number here and I don't have it available, but it's going to be, even with the economic conditions of the state, we are still getting a good, it's going to be more than the 20% for a match from the state. So with it being at the 3%, we'll get 2 additional matches as well. So there will be some, I'm going to say, from the state matching. We're going to get a good amount of money next year. So I think that's a very good sign. And I know the coalition was happy that we got the housing trust started. And with that, there will be a lot more that we can grow upon that. So it looks like, like I say, things are kicking in with regards to our funding. I think that's really basically what I wanted to go ahead and mention. Beth, with what's going on, like say, Sudbury and such, do you remember what the coalition said, what their percentage amount was?
I'm just looking at the email right now. So overall, I think it said that all CPA communities received a 28.6% match on round 1. And then there's a spreadsheet that I'm just opening up and I was gonna look at what they have specifically for Ayer, but we can go on and I can
Yeah, I don't think Ayer has the second and third match on that spreadsheet.
Okay.
I think they just kept it as being one match because they used the numbers from last year.
Okay.
From what I remember, but you can double check as well. But yeah, I know it was, again, we thought it was going to be approximately 20%, but it ended up being 28% because no matter what, the additional monies coming in from the fees and deeds and such exceeded what the state thought that they were going to be getting. So that is a very big help.
Yeah, you're right. The second and third rounds don't show up on the spreadsheet for Ayer yet, so we'll stay tuned for that.
That's exactly. Yeah. So again, that will help our coffers so that we'll be able to get the more monies put inside the housing category as well as the historic category. And again, I think when we finally do it again in the spring, we'll do the 10% for open space, and then the additional funds will go into those other 2 categories as well as the balance reserve. All right. Okay, so that's what I wanted to make sure people were brought up to date. Anything else that people want to bring up for new businesses? Does anybody have anybody talking to them on projects that they would like to have done?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm going to move right on to committee reports. And I'll just start off with conservation. Jess?
Just regular business, nothing too new going on at the moment.
Same thing with Wright Road and what was the other one?
There's one for 2 potential subdivisions. The other one's on Washington Street across from the high school. So we've just issued ORADs orders of resource area delineation. So that's as far as they've both gotten with us at the moment. We had outside consultants check the wetland delineations and make some revisions. And so I think both those projects now go into the planning process for doing the actual layout. And we'll go before Ms. Murray and the planning board. And then also back before conservation for orders of conditions for the actual work. So.
How much upland area is there on those parcels or that area?
Well, the 0 Washington Street, they've got wetlands on either side of the, well, looking at it from Washington Street to the east border and the west border, they have bordering vegetated wetlands, and they're largely going to be staying out of that area. And then the back half of the property is natural heritage priority habitat. They're staying out of there as well. And that actually has the power line easement going across it as well. The nice thing about that, when that goes into conservation restriction, that directly abuts the conservation restriction property that will be associated with Air Solar 2. So it has a good connectivity for wildlife.
Right. So I'm actually thinking, I mean, would this be a possible location for the community center, senior center?
What would be?
That this, the Washington Street property.
How do you mean? Because it's being planned for a subdivision. I'm not sure.
Right, but that's, I mean, now before they get their subdivision plan finally completed is a time that the town could approach them to acquire it.
Oh, okay. To acquire the property itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how would that happen?
I don't know whether or not that was part of the study, because they were supposedly, when they were looking at properties, there were more than just the 7 that were presented for the senior center. So I don't know. I mean, best thing to do is just send an email to the select board.
Right.
I mean, other than that,
It seems like a pretty ideal location.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one at the intersection of Washington and Groton Harvard, right?
No, more across from the
School.
across from the high school and Page. So further down Washington Street,
All right.
Page Hilltop. that
Yeah, no,
vicinity.
yeah. So that's got to be because when you said 0 Washington, this is
Yeah.
like, pardon?
Yeah, I guess when they're in the development stage, they need some sort of address. So the
Okay.
solar array was also 0 Washington Street.
Yeah, that's why, I had it that way.
Yeah.
So this is right before that street. I'm trying to remember the cross street across from the high school.
More.
More?
More? All right. So this is that woodland section that's right across the street there. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you want me to, I can go ahead and I'll send an email to the select board asking if, they ever approached the developer. Do you know who the developer is?
Hold on a sec.
Jess, I can grab it. I have it right upstairs. Just give me 2 seconds. Or you have it?
I might have it. Not on this one. I want to say northeast or something like that.
Okay.
Um,
All right, if you guys can go ahead And send it to me before I send an email to select board? All right, then at least, we've got a name that we can drop. Don't worry, Jess, if you can do that after.
These things disappear on me.
Yeah, believe me, I know the feeling.
Okay.
Sometimes I think my dining room table is a black hole. Okay. So it's a good suggestion, Beth. Let's go ahead and just double check, see whether or not they put that, and that they had that as one of their sites that they looked at. So
It is Northeast Site Development.
okay.
Does the family that owned the property still own it, or is it going to be sold after they get their permits? Do you know?
Don't know that.
Okay.
I think that probably is more purview of planning board when it gets to that stage. That wouldn't be something we would be considering for a resource area delineation.
We usually have to have the signatures of the owners, as well as the applicant. So I just didn't know if you had that, different information. But.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, we can always ask.
Yeah.
But it's a good segue into Julie.
I
Planning
figured
board.
as much. I got ready that time. And Beth, I'll peek too. I just got the packet of information this morning, so I haven't looked at it yet, but I have it ready to go upstairs. So similar to what Jess just said, we approved the amended site plan for Ayer Solar 2, and we are just delivering our packets on what they're calling Panther Place, the preliminary subdivision on Washington Street.
They're calling it what?
Panther Place.
Panther, like the big cat?
It's the school thing. What do you call that? Mascot. But now I don't know if they've discussed this whole hybrid thing, and we have half Panther and half Pride, and whether that really messes their whole little thing up. But I don't think they want me talking about that at planning board. And I don't think we get to name the place. So that's where we're at.
I didn't realize we had two names. What was I didn't realize that there was a Pride.
Well, the Monday kids it doesn't matter, but yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Tuesday kids are something else.
Panther and Pride cohorts for the hybrid kids. Yep.
Remote. You don't get anything fun. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jess, for doing most of the updating.
Well, I got a question for you though, Julie.
Okay.
Is anything moving on the Fitchburg Road development? Have you heard anything on the flag property?
No, I've not heard
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
And I think they're going to have to do a wetland delineation as well. We haven't heard anything on that.
Okay.
So.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, Barry, historical.
We had a new member, and we're hoping she got appointed last night at the select board meeting, but I haven't heard. I asked, I put a note out to George Bacon if he had heard whether Maggie got. Maggie Durant is her name, by the way, and she has some education in historical research, and it'd be nice to have some youthful influence in this historical commission about it. So it's tough because we try to do double duty sometimes with the historical commission. We don't have a historical society, so it's difficult. And I know she's also interested in forming a historical society as well. So
Oh, nice.
as long as Robert brought her name before the select board last night, I'm hoping that she got approved and we have a new member. That'd be great. So,
Well, I did see on the agenda there were appointments, so
yes.
hopefully that was it. Congratulations.
It's been a long time it's very difficult to get people interested in the historical commission, and we've been asking for people to take an interest, and it just doesn't happen. And this would be great. This would be great to have Maggie on board. So
And
Nice.
Barry,
Margaret, I'm sorry.
he was appointed last night.
Oh, great.
Yes.
That's great. So yes, she's on the historical commission. So
All right. Thanks, Cindy. All right, that's great. Anything else going on with historic?
Well, Maggie had also brought up about a Eagle Scout project for the that she had in mind for this one individual that wants to help out with the 150th. Want to either erect signage or a pamphlet on historical buildings and walkways and things like that downtown. So what George did is forwarded that to Alan to see what his input was on that. So, and I haven't seen any more on that. So,
All right.
that's
Well, if there's anything that, CPC can go ahead and assist with, just bring it up to us and see what we might be able to do. February will be the 150th, right?
it is, yes.
Yeah, February
That's-
14th.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think it's going to be very difficult to have planned attractions until we're out of this COVID thing. But I think that we can think and that we could do something for the 14th for that day, even if it was, whether it be Zoom or something.
Yeah.
But we definitely want to. We don't want the day to pass without any notification. Put it that way.
Mhm.
Or
I think it would be nice to have some sort of celebration via Zoom, that, some sort of either speakers or whatever, to strut the stuff of the town. That
Yes.
would be nice. All right. Anything else? So that's it?
Nope, that's it for me. Thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome. Jason, Parks and Rec. I know you guys have got the snowmen as well as the Christmas trees being picked up from people to decorate the path.
Yeah, so we got snowmen and Christmas trees that people can come down to the park. Yesterday, I think, was the first day, but Jeff should be down there on Saturday, 9 to 1. But if anybody wants to reach out to the park department, you can get a little 3 or 4 foot wooden cutout of a snowman or a tree that you can decorate, and they're going to put it along the path. It's like a $20 deposit if you want to keep your snowman or tree. You can keep it. If you want to bring it back, we'll give you your $20 back. But that's going on. We are going to try to get a ice skating rink set up down there. We kind of have the boards already erected, but they're short boards. They're not like ice skate, like hockey rink size boards. But we've got it all out there, and we just have to really hope for conducive weather. So if the weather is good for that this winter, we'll have an ice skating rink down there for people. It's going to be down near where the basketball courts are. So, again, it's all weather dependent. If we get a mild winter, it may be nothing. And if we get a cold winter, it may be pretty good. So we'll see how that goes. Something that just came up today, we're going to be doing something with holiday lights, similar to what we did with Easter. I don't know if anybody remembers what we did with Easter, but it was sort of decorate some eggs and leave them out, and people could walk around neighborhoods and see Easter decorations. We're going to be sort of opening it up for people to let us know, like creating a database, so to speak, a listing of people that have holiday lights out, and we're going to publish that list if anybody wants to go on a walking tour or riding tour around town to see holiday lights. So that sort of just is coming out today. We probably have a communication on that out in the next couple of days. So other than that, we're just, getting by like everybody else.
Yeah, what got built over at Sandy Pond?
Oh, the Gaga ball pit. That was a scout project, Eagle Scout project. I don't know. Julie should know what a Gaga ball pit is. Anybody that's familiar with scouts, it's a game that is really popular with them. Played in I don't even know what's the shape. It's not an octagon. It's a
Something bigger.
hexagon. I don't know. Anyway, it's like a game people get in. It's a kids game. It's like a ball game where they try to knock each other out. So So Eagle Scout built that at Sandy Pond, and we're going to probably put in another one at Peroni with another Eagle Scout project. So,
Nice.
yep.
And it's jumbo sized. Scott was saying it was double the size of the ones he usually sees.
And I
Well,
have
it's
to say,
regulation, maybe. I don't know.
it's getting used because, I drive by it anytime I go around the pond and quite often
It is.
see families in there using it, which is nice.
Yep. So yeah, definitely go down and use it. But remember, we got the mask mandate from the governor, so please be sure to mask up in public. But yeah, go down and use it. Go down and use the path. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, we'll be getting these snow people and trees out, and that should be nice. So we're also trying to maybe put together a storyboard, but we'll see how that goes. Like a storyboard walk along the path too. So.
All right, that sounds nice.
You talked to the library about that, because I had conversations with the library, so you might be able to partner with them. And there's copyright sort of things that you need to consider with stories too. So then partnering with them might help give you some options. But
Yeah, Sarah Givens is working on that. Actually, most of these things were these three things were on the path for sort of her ideas. So,
Great.
she's been working on that. So we'll hopefully get that out. We're just trying to do something. Short money, get people, continue to keep people outside, and just offer things to do as best we can.
It works out great.
We'll be back to normal.
Great. We
Yep.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Tell them thanks. And again, when you're saying short money, if there are projects that you see coming up, CPA funds can be used for it. So.
Yeah.
But I know it's got to go through town meeting.
Yeah.
Still, if you see stuff, it would be nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, definitely. And just one more thing. I don't know if anybody knew Tim Nolan. He passed away last couple weeks ago. He wasn't never on the park commission that I can recall, but he did so much for us down in Peroni, especially and volunteering for youth leagues for 20 plus years. So he was running that our program, our sign program, is a sort of a Friends of Peroni program, and raised a lot of money for Peroni Park, and a lot of projects got done down there because of a lot of work that he did. And we built dugouts, we got backstops, we got fences, we got a lot of things done because of Tim Nolan's work, and he was a really good friend to the park department, and he passed away over the last a couple weeks ago. So I just wanted to just point that out here in public, just give my appreciation and the park's appreciation to him. I don't know if anybody knew him on this call or not, but he'll be missed by us.
Well, I know he helped us out a little. So if you get an address, I think we'd like to send some sort of card to the family. Jason?
Yeah. Okay. I think Jeff. See if Jeff can provide that.
Right. Sounds great. And yeah, sorry to hear that. It's like, when you lose good ones, it hurts. All right. Moving on with Housing Authority. We had a meeting this week. The state has decreased the budget 4% across the board for pretty much all housing authorities. So the Housing Authority won't have any type of raises again. However, they did take into consideration, I don't know if it was really the CARES Act, but there are some funds due to COVID-related issues that the board went ahead and made the recommendation to use those additional funds that are coming in to give a bonus to the employees that have been there day in and day out, assisting the residents that are at the different locations. So just to, like I say, to go ahead and tell the employees, we did appreciate them being there through thick and thin and still being there due to the pandemic. So, so that's really what is updating on for the Housing Authority itself. And I already gave you the Affordable Housing Trust. All right. Again, Colleen, anything from, you know, like I say, nothing from people you're talking to, or all right, make sure you keep yours open and, you know, give us some feedback. Beth, anything open space or anything from people that you run into?
Nothing to report. We are in the process with the Wild and Scenic Stewardship Committee or now the council, I'm sorry, of sort of preparing final drafts of the arrangements for the small grants program. So we will look to be able to make an announcement regarding that in the coming months. And then over the next month or so, I think I'm supposed to go to the select board just to make an update of the status of the Wild and Scenic Council and, you know, what we've been up to. And, you know, it'll be a good opportunity to also announce the grant program.
All right, that'd be great. I mean, we've been doing pretty good with grant writing. I gather West Main Street just received some nice, good funds through the Office of Community and Economic Development. So awesome. All right. Is there anything else people want to bring up? Is there any public participation of people having questions? No? All right. Again, if there are any questions from the public after reviewing this, please contact us at cpc@ayer.ma.us. Our next meeting is scheduled to be on January 6th at 7 p.m. And can I hear a motion to adjourn?
So
Make a
moved.
motion to adjourn. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Beth.
So moved. Motion to adjourn.
Okay, that was Barry and Beth, and all in favor, aye? Aye, and I think,
Aye.
aye.
All right.
You got it. Guys, thank you very, very much. If I don't hear from you or see you or whichever, enjoy your holiday season as well, and as much as possible, give family big hugs and such. And I appreciate everything that you guys do. Thank you so much.